Okay, guys, pay attention, please, because today Panos just arrived from Italy. Panos has been with us a couple of seasons, and so he started like you, The first time that he arrived, I remember that day that you were doing some dribbling. I said to myself, this guy can do something in the future, and he's really good quality and technical players, and I was pleased to see him, and we took him straight away inside our family, and after a while, he went, to Watford at the beginning, so in England, then he went to Brescia, before Brescia, then Watford, and after Watford he arrived, in Udinese, and now he's one of the best players in Udinese Primavera. He's already been doing a lot of training session with the first squad in Udinese, with the big players, that are playing over there. He's doing his own career now. He's got a contract for another 4 seasons, if I remember well. And so I'm really pleased that you are here. You came, to say hello to us. That that is really nice. And obviously for us as a coaches, it's important to see you that you reach such a level. And briefly, can you tell what happened to you in this period of time in Europe, and what you can suggest to these guys, to these players, to reach something really important like you did?
Yeah. So I started off here. I don't know how old was I? 8 years old, 9 years old. I was here for a couple of seasons. Went to a couple of tournaments with AC Milan in Italy as well, in Portugal and stuff, and did really well. Then my family decided to move over to Italy, move over to England, sorry. And I ended up signing for Brescia, second division club in Italy, where they brought up players like Pirlo and Guardiola played there, and Baggio played there as well. And then I had some injuries. I was out maybe for 10 months, not really touching the ball. And my family was still in England. And then after that, Watford came and said we were interested, and I signed a contract up until I was 16, not a professional contract, just so that I was with the club. Played there a couple of seasons, did really, really well. And then at the end of that, they offered me another 2-year contract. And
what, Panos, can I ask you, what is the difference between an Italian club and an English club? Because probably there is a huge difference.
Yeah. Running, lots of running in Italy.
Italians, you need to run a lot. They very tactical, very defensive. So in England, when I was playing there, I'm a number 10. I'm a front player. When I would get past players, I would find myself maybe one-on-one with the goalkeeper or a lot of space. In Italy, if I ended up getting the ball, you'd get a lot less ball in Italy because they close you down much quicker. If you get past one player, first of all, it's much more difficult to get past that player. And the ball may get passed, but they'll take you out, honestly. And even if you do get past them, there's always another 3-4 players. So I always
there is a funny story about you and the first squad of Udinese. What happened exactly when you play with them? You did the nutmeg, to Pizzi.
Yeah. Instance, when I first arrived, I signed my professional contract when I was 15. And I moved over thinking I was going to play maybe for the under 17s or 18s. I ended up going straight with the under 20s. And then after a couple of months, they said, listen, we want you training with the first team. So I was 16 and I was training with players like Di Natale, and the assistant coach was actually Dejan Stankovic from Inter Milan. So I was in training, and my personality has always been to take players on and stuff. And there was the club legend, one of the players that's been there maybe 10 years, scored against Liverpool in the Europa League. I ended up getting past the player and chipping the goalkeeper, and I scored. And then after, he came to press me, and I got past him again, and the ball was maybe where he was, and he took me out and spat next to me, and he said, the next time you do that, I'll put you in the hospital.
So that is unbelievable, because you feel a little bit,
I'm 16 years old.
Afraid maybe,
I was.
But you kept it going,
Yeah, you gotta keep going. So I always use the difference between Italy and England, because he came through Udinese, was Alexis Sanchez. In Italy, everyone was saying how good he was, but he only scored maybe 4 or 5 goals in a season at Udinese. And then he got bought for 40 million at Barcelona. And now you see him at Arsenal and he scores maybe 20, 25 goals a season. So you can see the difference. The Premier League is probably the most entertaining, but Italy is probably the toughest league.
I've got a question for you. Because you're part of the national squad and play with, of course, in Italy, and play with the national squad, you see a lot of level difference there?
In Italy, training and playing with a Serie A club is incredible. And playing for Australia under 17s, especially at the World Cup last year in Chile. We have some good players, but you see the difference, you know? Like, these guys are brought up in a certain system, and here, in the other national teams, like for Germany when we played them and Argentina, all these players played for teams like Dortmund, Bayern, Schalke, and it was me and a boy from Liverpool, Jake Brimmer, that were in the national team. And all the others were from Australia. All the others are local, so
obviously there is
it is a difference. Yeah. It's not that there are some,
Is the mental difference or skills, you reckon?
Both. Because some of them aren't up to the quality of, you know, Germany, Spain, Holland. They're not there. But a lot of it is us being in Europe. We're used to playing, you know, players that are making debuts for AC Milan and Bayern Munich and these players. Whereas in Australia, you're talking about players that are playing against players that play for under 16, 17s for Sydney Olympic. So there's a bit of a difference, and it's not their fault. It's just you need to get used to the competition. When I was here, I found it easy. I go over there, and I wasn't able to touch the ball. I wasn't able to get past players.
So how many hours you work?
Using you, sorry. They're using you probably in a position that you probably you prefer something else, you know, for your creativity, for your fantasy that you can put in on the field, you know. Because in my opinion, you are the classic number 10 that everyone expecting from you. An assist, you know, score goals, you know, on the free kick or dribbling some players. You know, I remember your goal that you done here in Australia, unbelievable that you did the two Veronica, you know, one after another, and then you pretended to shoot, the goalkeeper was down, and then you chip the goalkeeper in a nice way. So what is your best position, in your opinion, to maximize yourself?
I think my best position will always be behind the striker.
One striker or two strikers?
I prefer two, but if we need to play with one striker, and the thing is, because I am a player that needs type of freedom, so
you don't have to get back into defense.
Yeah,
you know,
in Australia it was, they put me on the wing and I was asked to defend until my own half and press the whole game. If the coach says I have to do it, I have to do it. But,
obviously it's not your characteristic.
Yeah, my characteristic is to get the ball, and even when the right wing has it, I can come into the right wing, he can come into the middle, always changing. So in the left and the right and the middle, you always have to change. I never want to stay still and stuff. So,
boys, any question, you know, that you want to ask, you know, to Panos, you know, that you are on the right age, you know, that you have to push yourself and to do something important. Yeah, no, he's doing, you know that he's playing for the national team as well, you know, Panos. So, you know, he will be in Bahrain in short time, you know, to play for under 20, you know, with Paul Ocon, I think, you know, he's the coach. Paul Ocon is playing Italy and for Lazio, and they play in Belgium, you know, so he's really good players and a really good coach. So hopefully he can make you play in the right position for you in the next, you know, tournament that you are going to do. Any question, Jello? No one? No, anything that you shouldn't? Okay. So it's a pleasure for me, you know, to have you here. You know, you've been a good luck for your career. Okay, thank you very much, Panos. Okay.
Well done, boys.